At first glance, Tiprin Follett could be considered one of the lucky ones.
All I thought was we survived the fire.
Her Altadena home, with its lush and manicured garden, seemingly untouched from the Eaton fire that ravaged this community in January. But
when the fire came through with the winds, it was so strong that it broke windows in the house and blew open doors. Arsenic and lead and asbestos and all of those things are covering my house.
Then the wildfire cleanup began, but just steps away from her front yard.
That is the golf course right there.
The Altadena golf course, partly burned in the Eaton fire itself, turned into a temporary site where vegetation, metal, and concrete from charred structures are received and processed.
What is that going to do to us? Will we be in a place that we can't leave, but we can't live in?
Safety is our number one priority.
Brigadier General William Hannon from the Army Corps of Engineers has led the cleanup efforts for the Eaton and Palisades fires.
We use the wet method, so we keep all the dust down and we want to keep everything down so we don't get that in the air. We have air monitors that are located on the 4 areas around the golf course here, and those stats are live streamed to the website.
Hannon said more than 400,000 tons of debris have been processed. As for what's not brought to the golf course,
the toxic materials are sorted at the properties themselves and are taken to a separate landfill.
In the Altadena neighborhoods, researchers like Mike Kleeman are working to understand the long-term effects of wildfires on human health.
This one happened where there's 18 million residents in the Los Angeles basin, and they were exposed both in the immediate disaster but then also in the cleanup phase.
With air quality tracking equipment mounted to his electric truck, Kleeman is tracking air pollution and toxins like arsenic and lead.
Once I know from these measurements what the particles look like, what the pollution looks like, I can then put that into a model and predict where the pollution will go, who will be exposed to how much.
But it will be years before researchers like Kleeman will scientifically understand the extent of wildfire exposure.
The best way to protect yourself, of course, is just to not be in the area.
For residents like Follett, it's not that simple.
I wish my house had burned. As much as I love my home and my garden, I could start to make plans to build. I could decide to move on to a new home. We are paralyzed in the unknown and the possible risks to us, to our neighbors, to our friends.
In Altadena, I'm Maribel Gonzalez.